Coming to you from one of the most resourceful, independent, and badass generations of all time. Welcome to the Gen X Brothers Podcast. Join Erik and Glenn, two half-brothers that make up one hell of a show.
What's up, my Bitcoin investors? How you doing out there? Welcome to the Gen X Brothers Podcast, the last real generation.
Are you a bear or are you a bull?
Yeah.
Is it a bear market or a bull market?
I'm a leopard market. Fucking A. What's up, Erik? My co-host, Erik D. Fulmer, my brother in arms. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Co-host by day, co-hostess by night.
So I heard there was a little bit of mischief on your those of you out there that follow us on Instagram and TikTok and all that shit and Facebook. Unfortunately,
finally got hacked.
Erik
finally got hacked. All the years I've been on social media, watching all my friends get hacked and laughing at them and feeling sorry for them, and then thinking, not me. I got AVG security, Norton security.
Well, I don't think any of that helps if you give them your password.
Yeah, it doesn't help if you freaking follow their instructions when they message you.
Yeah, excuse me, little girl. Can you follow us down this path? We have some candy.
Can you help me find my puppy? Oh, yeah. Sure.
Can you jump into the van for us, please?
Yeah.
So what happened, Erik? Explain it to us.
So Instagram, the Erik_public_figure, as if I'm some public figure, is no longer there. So what happened was, so I have a lot of friends that are comic book artists on Facebook and stuff. And this guy, I don't really talk to him a whole lot, but I just know him just from his posts on Facebook and everything. I don't want to save his name or whatever, but anyway, so he messaged me on Instagram and asked me if I could vote for him to be an ambassador influencer. And I've never heard of that before, but I said, okay. Yeah, sure, I'll vote for you to come looking at his, making sure it's him and everything, and on his Instagram.
So he didn't ask you to be an influencer; he just wanted you to vote for him.
Yeah, okay. He wanted my vote for it. Yeah. So then I'm looking at his page. I see it's him. He's got the all of his artwork up and everything. And he's a black guy. I don't want to be racist, but the way he texted, it sounded like him because he's like, "Hey, bro," talking.
Damn, those hackers had down his black scent and everything, man.
Yeah. So the black scent and everything. So I was okay. This is my friend. I said, yeah, sure. Is there a link for me to vote? And he said, yeah, but he said right now he needs me to go under my settings and give me he gave me an email and said to go under my settings on my profile and change mine to that email, to take a screenshot of it, and then I could change it back. And at first I thought, well, why do I need to do that? I never heard of that way of voting. What's the deal with it? And he said, no, that's just. He said,
what does that have to do with your account?
Yeah, he said that's just the way they have to count the vote or something. And the email kind of looked like a voter type of organization or whatever. Because he's a comic book artist too, so I figured, okay, well, maybe he's trying to move up in the world or whatever. I'll throw him a bone or so. But I also thought this, because of my Instagram, I log in using Facebook. I don't use an email to log in or anything. And I just figured my email on my profile was just part of my bio or whatever. I didn't think it would affect anything if I were to.
So you didn't give him your password, you just gave him your email or something?
Yeah, so he had me change my email in my bio to that email and then take a snapshot and then I change it back.
I see.
But you have to, and so I did that. And he said, no, you have to submit it first. And then once you submit it, then you could change it back. Because, when you submit it, then you get an email from Yahoo. You get your email from
so once you changed your email to his email, then he went in and said, I lost my password. Can you send me a new password? And then they sent it to that email address. And then he deleted your old email address and said, this fucker doesn't exist. So,
yeah,
okay.
Because the moment I did that, I got locked out, right? So then, but then I was able to, I still had my Death Cryptopia Instagram account and my Tamarind one that are linked to that one, but I guess they're not linked in a way where that they would get affected, which I'm glad that was the case, because they're separate Instagrams, right? So I go on that and I find him on my old one and I message him and I'm like, dude, motherfucker, you just fucked me over. What the fuck happened? And he's like playing totally dumb, and still he's talking like as if he's the black guy.
What did he say? Was he all like,
he's like, hey homie, like I would never do that, homie, like
okay.
Here, change it.
So he's trying to act like nothing, like he doesn't know what happened.
He's trying to. He's all, let me help you, man. Let me help you. He's all, let me help you. Just take this email, change it back. It's like he wanted to actually have me do the same thing that got me fucked up in the first place in order to fix it. I was like, fuck no, man. I'm not going to do that. To the new
account, to your other account, or
to my new account, my Desktopia. So he's like, in order to fix that, and I said no, because if I did that, then I'm going to lose this one. He wasn't understanding what I was trying to say. And
of course he wasn't.
That, later on, yeah. So I'm just like, fuck you, motherfucker. And I'm like pissing. I'm like, and at this point, I'm still thinking he's my Facebook friend that I've known for many years, but just never talked to or associated with. I'm cussing him out. I'm saying, yeah, you're a fucking lousy artist anyway. Fuck you. I'm not going to vote for your dumb ass and all this shit, right? So I lost it. I figured, I tried everything, all the tools that they tell you.
Well, did you ever get in contact with that guy? Like that is he aware that his account got hacked or?
Yeah, no. So what happened? So this was all around 1 or 2 in the morning. So I was ready. I was saying, "Fuck, I'm just gonna go to bed," and forget about it. And I lost it. I probably lost it because once I did the whole forgot password, I found that tool to use. Then it says, okay, so we emailed you a recovery email to this email, and it was an email that I did not recognize. It was like J **** because they don't show you the whole email or whatever. And I have a ton of different Gmails, but that one I don't have. It was started with a J and ended with an L. So I was like, oh, yeah, so that must be the hacker's email that they sent him the...
So you don't have two-factor authentication set up for your account?
Not Instagram, I didn't. Well, that's the thing, too. I did have my phone number in there and everything, and I had that on my Desktopia. But, I don't have it set up where it would text my phone.
Yeah, you're supposed to have it set up so that way if they try to change it, it'll send you a text message and you have to verify through your phone because obviously they can't copy your phone number.
Yeah, so I think somehow Instagram wasn't set up that way. Because again, I always log in using my Facebook login or whatever. So the next day I wake up and I'm getting all these messages from my friends. Gargoyle, he messaged me. He was the first one to message me. Say, yeah, dude, looks like your thing got hacked. And he told me that I was asking him to vote for him to be an ambassador. And that's when I started thinking oh, so it wasn't my friend that I was talking to and cussing out and being an asshole to after fucking me over.
But didn't you post something on Facebook basically cussing him out too?
That was before I talked to Bob or whatever.
But did you did the guy see that or did you apologize?
No, I don't think so because I don't think so because we never really talk on Facebook, and I would just have him as a Facebook friend, and I just see his posts every now and then. But I did go on his page, on his artist page, and I did let him know afterwards. I said, hey, your Instagram is hacked. And I kind of told him a little bit about what happened, but I didn't hear back from him or nothing. I'm figuring he probably didn't get my message because maybe his shit is hacked as well, So maybe his Facebook is hacked.
Excuse me, Erik?
Yeah?
This is Instagram security.
Oh, shit. The fuck is happening here now?
Yeah, well, what happened was we did an analysis of your account, and we came to the conclusion that you kind of fucked up. I mean, I don't think you should be giving out your fucking password.
Dude, I gave out my email.
I think in 2022,
I was
everybody
tricked.
should be smart enough not to give away their account information.
I'm the victim here.
Yeah, hey man, this is the hacker. What's up?
Oh.
What's up, my brother? This is the hacker.
What the fuck, motherfucker?
Hey, you didn't recognize me? I'm your friend.
How much money have you made off that fucking Bitcoin?
Hey, brother, come on, man. I just want you to invest in some Bitcoin, motherfucker.
Tell me how it works. I need a job, man.
This is the way
I need to make some money.
Okay? Let me explain to you how this shit works, motherfucker. What you do is you found some dumb motherfucker that's willing to give you their email address and have no problems at all.
Like me.
And then you just take that shit and run with it, motherfucker. Shit.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, Instagram security here again. I gotta agree with that guy.
Didn't you see that guy? You gotta catch his ass, man.
I think I have to agree with him. You kind of fucked up. It's your fault, dude. We're not helping you at all.
At the end of the day, I'm the dumbass, the dunce. Yeah.
Hey, man, it's okay. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. Shit, I'm gonna take advantage of all your friends. I already got like 30 of your friends. I got all their Bitcoin.
You got my girlfriend too? You probably got my girlfriend too?
Shit, I got your girlfriend in the back room right now, fucking the shit out of her.
fucking the shit out of her. Shit.
I got her
Hacking that
Bitcoin, I
pussy.
got her bit front, I got her bit back. Shit, I got it all.
Motherfucker, hack my pussy.
So that's what you get, Erik, for fucking up, man.
So I guess that's a new scam, I guess, because about 3 or 4 of my friends said they were getting messages saying vote for me as an ambassador and stuff. And I'm thinking, like, never heard of that term before, influencer, ambassador, influencer. You know, obviously they made it up, and it's like the new what do they call it?
It's the new Nigerian prince.
Yeah, the new Nigerian prince.
You're fucking Michael Scott of The Office now, man.
And usually I'm really good at catching these fuckers, man, because I get spam bots all the time. I get the ones from we're Publishers Clearinghouse, and you want $800,000, $8 million, but in order to get your money, you have to send us $300 to DHL for delivery. I'm thinking, like, you mean I got to pay $300 to deliver $8 million on it? The fuck you? Is it coming on a pallet or something?
But I still don't get. Okay, so I don't get the scam, right? So let's say they get your account. Now they're sending out emails to everybody. Not only are they doing the thing to try to get them to get their accounts, but they're also saying, like, hey, we want you to invest in. I invested $1,000 in Bitcoin, and then I got $10,000 back within 5 hours. I mean, if you can make $10,000 off of $1,000 in Bitcoin, what do you need my investment for? Like,
and that meme that they send out, I saw that what he posted on my wall or whatever, and it says it looks totally fake, and it doesn't look like
I got rich off of
anybody
Bitcoin.
like me that would fall for it.
So I've been talking to them on the Gen X Brothers Instagram. I've been talking to the main people, and so far they think I'm going to invest $1,500 in their Bitcoin scam, and they think I'm telling the truth. But we're going to come up with. I'll update everybody as it goes along, and maybe I can get them to call me, and I can talk to them on the phone, and maybe we can screw with them.
I had a spam bot one time that he pretended, I guess, he pretended to be poor, lived in even was honest about saying he was from Nigeria and that he was very poor and hungry, but yet his Facebook and everything had pictures of like fancy cars, a big house, like whoever's account he was taking or whatever. And I go, well, it looks to me like you're doing pretty good.
But you would think at this point, if you're a Nigerian scammer, don't you think it's time to use a different country?
Right.
I'm sure there's Zimbabwe's not too far away, man. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm not from Nigeria.
So he tells me, like, he's in a village, and he asked me if I could wire him money through Western Union, and I said, yeah, sure, definitely. Matter of fact, I got like $10,000 that's laying around. I'll send you that. How's that? And he's like, yeah, but the only thing is the Western Union is it's like 10 miles out of my village, and I have to walk there and everything. I go, don't worry, dude. It's gonna be worth it. So I made like a fake confirmation number and everything, and I sent it to him, and I told him it's there. And so he said, he was all happy. He said he's gonna go there, walk there in the morning, and get it. And then I go to sleep. I wake up the next day, and he's just cussing me out, man.
Wait, so you actually scammed somebody who wasn't a scammer?
Yeah. Well, he was trying to scam me at first, but then once I talked to him a while, I got him to really kind of tell me who he really was. Because I asked him, I go, why are you scamming? Why didn't you just get a real job? And he said, well, because I'm really poor and I'm trying to support my family. You just give me the sob story. And that's why I was like saying, well, yeah, but it looks to me like you got like fancy cars and a house and everything.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Erik. You're like the master scammer. You're the master telemarketer. For you to get hacked or for you to get tricked, man, that's a lot. That's a big deal.
I got stumped.
I guess it happens to all of us at some point.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
That's okay. That's okay, yes. Erik. Don't worry about it. It happens.
Yes, it happens to gods too.
So the point is, everybody out there, if you hear this and somebody asks you for any of your information, your email address, don't give them anything.
And everyone, you're probably, if you're still getting messages from me, if you know who I am, if I know you and everything, you're still getting messages from me, just report that account, because I'm trying to get everyone I can to report it and just block it, because that way at least maybe Instagram will shut it down.
Yeah, that's what because I tried to report it on my accounts, and it didn't give you an option to say the account was taken over. It only gives you an option to report it as it's a false account. And then it even said, who are they pretending to be? I was like, well, I don't want to shut down the account. I kind of want you to have the account back. So I didn't know what to do. So
I just reported that. I just said they're pretending to be me. But,
yeah.
I figure.
My account,
Still going,
motherfucker.
it seems
Because it'd be funny if they give it back to you, like after like a couple of weeks, they finally give you your account back, and then they get to the other emails that reported it, and then they shut you down because they think you are. They're going to give it back to you, and then you're going to shut it down after they give it back to you. That's how stupid they're going to be.
So what I did, I took my old Death Cryptopia and I just changed it to Erik_official, which is cool because I had like 2,000 more followers than I had, so I got 3,000 followers now.
Fucking Erik and his shit.
So I guess it's kind of cool I took it over.
Yeah, hey, shit happens for a reason.
I'll make a new Death Cryptopia one.
So speaking of friends and family, there's usually like a dilemma that I try to deal with because obviously we get a lot of people that contact us and stuff, a lot of people that want us to review their stuff, and a lot of times it's somebody we know, it's friends, it's family, things like that about music projects, and I don't mind doing it, but the dilemma is that how honest should you be with somebody when it comes to reviewing something? Like if you think something's good or whether you think something's bad, should you be completely honest and say, oh, this fucking sucks? Should you be completely honest and just say, oh, because listen, I hate when people review my shit and they give me a bad review. It hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
But then again, I think, hey, that's what I get for putting it out there.
I mean, I appreciate a good review. I appreciate an honest review. Like in other words, somebody. And I always say this. I've said it to people. Say, can you tell me what you think of this or whatever? And you can even tell me that it sucks or whatever. I'm not going to take it personal because I want you to be able to give me a critique. I'm going to take it serious. I'm going to take your critique serious if I know you listened to it or you gave it a shot or you watched it or whatever. If you didn't and you're just hearing you're reading other critiques or whatever and you're just kind of like saying whatever you think everyone else is saying, then I'm not going to take your critique serious. So. And I try to be honest with when I can when people are like, hey, because I get messages from people all the time, hey, can you check this out? Check out my project. And I say, yeah, that looks great. But I'll say if I have one little complaint, I always feel like if I have one little complaint or if I have one little critique.
You try to sneak it in there.
Yeah. Here's what I would do. Because I'm always like the type like,
I have one little critique, you suck ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's horrible. I don't like it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, the reason I bring that up, and it's not the reason I bring it up, and it's not to knock what I'm about to review. It's just because we've known the people in this band for a very long time. You feel bad if there's something negative that you have to say. If there's something that's not all 100% like, hey, this is the best fucking music I've ever heard in my life. And at the same time, I want to be honest to our audience. I want to be able to say, hey, this is what I thought of this. This is what it is. So that way they can make a good decision on whether they want to get it or not. And in the end, I mean, realistically, music is subjective.
It is. It totally is. I mean, there's
whatever you may like, I don't like. Whatever I don't like, you may like, or this person likes, or this person adore. So you can't really judge music on any merit, really, other than your own ears and saying, hey, I either like that or I don't.
I mean, so many times I get people saying, well, who's better guitar player, Eddie Van Halen or Erik Van? It's like, well, they're both good at what they do. It's like there's no. What do you like? I ask them, what do you like listening to better? They'll tell me.
Because sometimes when you listen to something, it's based on mood. And if you're in the right mood, some piece of music may be like, wow, this just touched me in a way that nothing else has ever touched me in my life. But then somebody else will listen to it and they're in a different mood and they're like, oh, that was a piece of shit, man. That was horrible. I didn't like it at all. Because I know a lot of stuff that you tell me to listen to and I'll listen and I'll be like, oh no, that's not for me.
Yeah, you're a hard sell though.
Especially Ghost. No, I'm just kidding. But because I have to be in the right mood to listen to something new. I don't know what it is. I like even TV shows, like some shows I'll watch and I just won't like it. But then like 2 years later, I'll be like, you know what? I'll give it another try. And I'll be like, whoa, this is the greatest show I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. When everybody was telling me that, but I just wasn't in the proper mood to sit down and listen to it or right frame of mind to see it. So
yeah. The same way. Like I'm still trying to get into Game of Thrones. I've been trying to keep me in the Game of Thrones for how many years now?
Yeah, since it came out, man. Game of Thrones is the best show.
I've watched episodes 1, 2 to 3.5 about maybe 4 times.
It is very confusing. It's not that I don't like it. I want to get into it, but it's not that I don't like it. It's just I keep getting distracted from other things or other shows and not going back to it. Well, it's one of those shows where you really have to, because there's so many people named all these weird names and you're kind of lost at first until you, like I had to watch it at least the whole 5 seasons. I watched it 2 or 3 times before I even got half the stuff that was going on. I was like, oh, that's who killed that person. Oh, that was who, who stabbed them in the back or like, I didn't know that till like I watched it 3 times. But overall, it's as good as a fantasy version of Breaking Bad. For me, Breaking Bad is the reigning champ as far as TV shows.
Yeah, I always say that. I always say that's probably the best show ever created. Best TV series. I mean, it set the bar so high for other shows.
But next for me would be Game of Thrones. But anyway, so the CD I want to review, I was very lucky enough that Yeho from Black Heroin Gallery sent me their CD.
It's our homies.
It's different than what you would expect, but it's really good. So first of all, they sent me the CD. The artwork is really fucking badass. The artwork is really good. I got to stop cussing, so I'm gonna try to say a clean version.
The artwork is splendid.
The artwork is stupendous. No,
yeah.
The artwork is really cool. He also sent me this pin.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a CD. I know I got it in my little list of new music to buy.
If you can see it, there's too much of a glare. I'll put it up in there, but. You see, there's Yeho, and then there's Tony right there.
Yeah.
Dracul, and then what's his name? Crystal, I think it is.
Yeah, so you got a little bit of a relationship with that band. Like, you know, your brother-in-law's in it.
Yeah, the bass player is my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
Tony is our old friend. Yeho, we've known him for the last 30 years. I don't know. It's been a long.
Ever since we pretty much moved to Hollywood.
Ever since we've been ever since I've been in Hollywood. I've known Yeho. And listen, he's a really cool guy. All the band members are really cool. But to give it an honest review, I listened to it and I dig the style. It's a very artistic style of music. It's almost like a cross between Fairyland and Roz Williams of Christian Death. It's very Christian Death-ish as far as the vocals go. The music is fantastic. The writing is incredible. Like if you read the lyrics, the poetry is,
that's one thing about Yehu, man. And just he's a phenomenal artist. He's a phenomenal poet. I mean, he's just a super talented, musician as well, and
an artist too. He drew all this.
Yeah, that's
all this
stuff.
Stuff.
I love his. I would love to have my house decorated as I've told him you need to do maybe do some galleries or something.
Yeah, but as they say, all things don't matter before the word but but I do have to say my biggest the biggest flaw in the music to me is the vocals. The vocals are, they're cool in a way because they sound very Roz Williams-ish. The melodies sometimes are a little bit too...
Here's my take on that. And this is something I've always felt about Black Heroin Gallery, and I've always loved the music. I love the dynamics of it, and I like what he's doing with the vocal. But to me, it's like it should only be maybe one or two songs like that because there's really no melody. And I'm hearing this really elaborate atmospheric music, and in my head I'm hearing like this... just some kind of vocal melody, like a really good gothic, deep vocal melody, maybe even a female vocal, and then maybe have that voice in every now and then, because what happens is it becomes performance art, and it becomes the soundtrack. The music is a soundtrack for this performance art, which is similar to what Tiny Tim does. I think his vocals are good.
Yeah, it's almost like as if it's a spoken word type of thing.
Yeah,
but
it's like a spoken word. So it's like a character, and it's a character that's performing for this music. So, which is cool because maybe that's what they're going for. But at the same time, if you're going for sort of...
But musically, that's what I mean. But when you're listening to something musically, you kind of, I don't know, but maybe that's just me personally, is you crave some chorus in there. You crave I want to be able to sing along with it. I want to be able to engulf myself, but the vocals get too far out there to where it doesn't bring you in. It kind of pushes you away. And I feel bad because he's very talented and I like it. But at the same time, I'm kind of pushed away by the harshness of the vocal.
And who knows, it could be somewhere maybe that's where they're going to evolve to. Maybe at some point, Tony's a great singer. If it was me, I would say, hey, let's give Tony a chorus. Let me do this with the chorus.
Yeah.
I like music. I love songs that do that. I love songs that have like a weird dissonant sounding verse and maybe even like some some augmented fifths or like diminished fifths or whatever, and then have a catchy chorus. Or
yeah. So like even if you
and then because it really makes you. Really grabs you when it does that.
If you take the example of Roz Williams from Christian Death, yes, he goes out on a tangent like these bloody hands or whatever the fuck he's saying. He goes out on a tangent, but then it comes back to the chorus to where it makes you want to sing along and it makes you want to join in and be a part of the song, even though there's the same thing with Diamanda Galas. I love Diamanda Galas, but you can only handle so much Diamanda unless it's her blues album. But the opera stuff that she does is fantastic and you get it on that level. But at the same time, you're like, okay, I this screeching is like too much. Okay, just tone it. Like, come on, get,
Yeah.
It's like you appreciate it for what it was. You appreciate it for what it did, but you can only take so much, or you got to be in a certain mood to deal with it.
Like with King Diamond, right? He's got this really just a unique voice that just is different from anyone else, right? And I think with King Diamond, it's like you're either going to like his voice or you're not. But King Diamond always kind of had that same style. And I think with Black Heroin Gallery, you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it as far as that style of vocal. And I just think like we got these songs here with some really great melodies going on, some really great atmosphere. There needs to be some kind of vocal there. Like
yeah, that's what I feel bad. I feel bad saying this because Yeho, we love him. We've known him for a very long time. He's a really cool guy. He's one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. And it's but at the same time, I don't want to tell somebody to change what they're doing. I don't want to say, hey, no, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have. Yeah,
but that's what I was saying. Honesty, if it was me, I would take it in a different direction. And maybe he will eventually, or maybe that's what he wants. He wants to do that. And if that's what he's gung ho on, then, hey, then cool, go for it. But I just wish, because I hear all this talent and I just wish that there was something more for me to grasp onto and be able to join in. And like I said, and be a part of it.
Especially because his words are so like badass, like his lyrics are badass. So you want to be able to hear those vocals capture those words,
Yeah, it's like a Lord of the Rings type of fantasy, elfish, fairyland type of stuff. And
like if you're going for like a soundtrack movie type of atmosphere type of thing, then put every song like that. But if you want these songs to be kind of taken in or received really well from a lot of people, then you're going to have to put some kind of hooks in there, some kind of melody, some kind of vocal.
And that's what I mean. It's too much of the same thing, because I think also too with having the vocal melody like that, it makes every song sound the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because the music is different. Every song has a different melody. It has a different vibe going on to it.
Great production too.
Yeah, great production. But with that same vocal thing, it kind of drags you into the last song and you're kind of like, oh, well, I already kind of heard this. Again, there's something about it that just isn't focused in the right direction. And I wish it would.
Yeah, and I think for the kind of music it is, it's probably something that translates better live, because you're going to see he's acting out of character. I think it'd be cool if he actually had some different kind of vocals, like Tony would sing like a melodic part, or maybe bring in a female vocal, and that would give him a chance to do his theater stuff. He's a great actor, he does all those little movies and stuff, and he can actually be a character on stage, while those.
Or even have different characters, like people dressed up on stilts and walking around like giant trees or fairies and stuff.
And he can get into character while you got those different vocals going on. That would be kind of a cool thing. But again, at the end of the day, it's like he's the driver of the car, and he knows what he wants to do, artistic wise, and again, it's artistically brilliant. It's a brilliant thing. It's just a matter of how much audience is he going to get and how much further can it get than where it is now.
So the CD is called Feast of Bats. It's by Black Heroin Gallery. That's what we're talking about. It's a new CD.
Black Heroin Gallery.
You know, visually, they're a really cool band. They dress up. You know, they got a really cool gothic vibe, fantasy. Like you said, it's almost like a movie score. So I would encourage anybody to go check it out and definitely give it a listen. They're on Bandcamp. So Black Heroin Gallery on Bandcamp. I don't think they're on Spotify, at least not the new stuff. If you want to look them up, go to Black Heroin Gallery on Bandcamp, and you know, you can hear it. You can hear the music, and then decide if you want to purchase it. Buy their CD. Like I said, the CD alone is worth having because it's really cool. I mean,
yeah, I'm definitely gonna be getting that CD.
The artwork.
Right after we get off here, if I order.
I mean, if you look at the artwork, there's a bunch of all the lyrics are in there. It's a really nice booklet, so definitely it's worth having.
I mean, he's a badass artist, and I've watched his art like evolve over the years, all the years that I've known him. Like just watching it evolve to where it is now, I'm like, damn man, like because there was a time where I thought, like, how much further can you go with something like with just all the black and white ink? You know,
yeah, it used to be very basic, like back, like when we were like in.
He's getting real intricate now. It's just like, you know.
Well, because he used to do like, it almost looked kind of like a doodle, like back in, I'm talking about like in 93, 94, when he was part of our magazine, he did a couple of art pieces we used to have a magazine called The Arc of Descent that wrote about like horror stuff and music, poetry and stuff like that. And he submitted like a couple of pieces and it was really cool, but it was kind of basic. And now this shit is like so elaborate. It's very cool.
Definitely needs to be in like a lot of art galleries.
Well, I know he has a couple of art books out or like comic books, or not comic books. They're kind of like graphic novel type of thing. I forgot what he called it. Another thing about the music too, I don't know if you notice this too, if you listen to it, there's something missing about the bass. I don't know if they screwed up the bass tone or something, but the bass is very it's very lost in the music. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, I'm really bad with song titles, but when I was going through it on Bandcamp, I was feeling these vibes of Disintegration, the Cure Disintegration, just with the sound that Tony has on those drums and just everything, the way it's mixed, all the, going all the different directions in the headphones. But yeah, it was a bass that was missing because, when you hear Disintegration, that's what stands out a lot. Is that bass.
The bass was there, but I think the tone, I don't know, there was something with the bass, and I don't know if that's a knock against Dracul. I wasn't there, so I don't know what the recording situation was. I don't know if somehow it got lost in the mix with the tone, because I do hear bass there, but it's not up. The tone is weird. It's not, there's something missing in it. Like the bass should be really, the music is so cool. The bass should be really driving and really just like thumping in the background to kind of drive you along with everything else, and it wasn't there. Like I noticed that it just wasn't.
Who's it produced by? So it's actually produced by Roman, right?
Yeah, Roman from PMM or Wormhole Studios.
Do they have producer credits as well, like Yahoo or Tony or anybody, or is it just Roman? Like, I
have no idea.
The producer is the guy that will tell you, hey, we need that bass to kind of this or that, like.
Yeah,
we need to pull this out of your ass, because you're not delivering the goods like how you did with me in the studio.
Yeah, the producer. I mean, again,
it's very hard to produce
it
yourself. Depends.
I don't know if Roman was the actual producer of it or if he just recorded it. I know he recorded it. I know that he mastered it.
Like give feedback and
Yeah, it depends. Some bands, Roman is very good at like saying, hey, I think you need to do this, this, and this, and then others, he's like, okay, you know what you're doing. I'm gonna stay out of your way. So I don't know what the vibe was.
I know back in the day with us with Will O Wisp, we'd be in the studio, and the guy would be trying to maybe help us and tell us what to do. We'd be like, no, we're doing it this way,
Yeah, yeah. Some bands are stubborn, yeah.
Yeah, and, you later on you realize it's hard to produce yourself because you need that other eye, you need that other ear to to see.
So I don't know if we're being too much of a dick for critiquing it that much, but
no, I think.
But I do want to talk because listen, if they're on the show and we talk to them, then it's all about the band and we're talking about the band. But he asked us to do a review. He asked us to listen to it. So I want to be honest about it. You know, if somebody tells me to listen to something, I want to be upfront, and because my word is my bond. My word is what I say. I'm not just going to like blow smoke up somebody's ass and go, yeah, it's all great, man. We're all great.
I think at the end of the day, it's a brilliant CD. It's a brilliant musically, and the vocals are good for what they are, for the kind of vocals that they are. But it's just a matter of the listener. How much can you handle of it, and how much do you like of it? Do you wish you could hear like a melody going on? Is this going to keep you engaged? Are you going to put this on repeat? For me, it would probably be something I would put on just, I'd check it out, listen to it.
Like a piece of art on the wall, you would appreciate it, and you would go, okay, that was cool, and then you're going to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, like if I want to play it again, it's going to be like playing while I'm reading or doing something, but as far as like the songs itself, they're good songs, but it's something that I don't think every song should have that kind of vocal in every song.
You got to mix it up. No.
Mix it up a little bit. But, who knows? Like I said, I mean, the band, they look like they're slowing down any, and they've been doing this for a while, and they obviously know what they're doing, playing shows. They got a good fan base. I think they got a pretty good following, right?
Yeah. From what I understand,
sure.
They're, like I said, they're good guys. They're a good band. They're, they know what they're doing live. The music is great.
Probably the best I've ever heard Tony's drums.
Yeah, Roman did a really good job of producing the tone and the sound of like the melodies and the drums. And
so Tony, you finally got a good drum sound if you're watching this.
Yeah, well, his other CD, the Postmortem Superstar, that turned out really good as well too. And Roman produced that.
Yeah, and I plan to review that soon.
But yeah, Black Heroin Gallery, Feast of Bats. Go check it out on Bandcamp. We definitely encourage you to do that. So now we're going to switch gears and we're going to get total metal. Total extreme. So you told me about this that just came out a couple days ago, and we were going to do something else on the show, but we pretty much dropped everything. I just
found out about it because I was thinking about we were talking about doing some music news, and so I'm going through the music news, and I see that's the first thing I see was Behemoth dropped a new song.
Yeah, Behemoth, man.
I'm not crazy about him. I think I like him. I just haven't had a chance to really listen to them all the way. Like I have a couple of their albums, but I just never really delved deep into them.
Well, I think with Behemoth, one thing that intrigues me and one thing that I love about them most is their music videos. Because the first time I heard them, I was watching one of their videos, like I didn't even know who they were. I came across, Oh Satan or whatever. One of their first videos, and I was just blown away. And I was like, holy crap, the production is so great. They look so cool and so evil. And you're just like, wow, this is what a black metal band, like, I don't know, are they considered black metal? What are they considered? Extreme metal?
When I was reading it, I was looking at their Wikipedia, they're considered blackened death metal, basically.
Blackened death metal.
But they fit in with the whole black metal crowd, and
because they're kind of like on the same realm as, like, let's say Cradle of Filth, where they're metal, but they're not real, because black metal's more like this raw, like
these guys. Like, you ever heard this band called Watain?
Watain? That's the Wu-Tang Clan?
Like the Wu-Tang Clan. I like the new album, but it looks like they're like posing like ISIS and shit. Like I kind of think, are they doing but they're from like Norway and shit. I'm thinking, are they trying to piss people off or whatever?
Yeah, so they're going so extreme that they're going to pretend that they're terrorists.
These guys, if you ever check out some videos on YouTube of their life, they have fire. They got all these candles. They got upside down crosses on fire. I mean, they're evil as fuck. I mean, and this album is so good. It's just like, this is like what black metal is. But Behemoth,
true black metal.
Yeah, true black metal. And but Behemoth, it's like I liked him a lot, and I love Nergal. I think he's a brilliant marketer as far as how he markets the band and everything he does.
And I think he's true. I love him for him being true to what he does, because he's one of those guys that is extreme, but then he's not afraid to make fun of himself. He doesn't take it so serious that he's like, no, this is who I like. Some guys get pissed off when you question them or you make fun of them. He's just like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I mean, he walks around. I follow him on Instagram. He walks around on the beach with his little shorts and stuff, like he's Mr. GQ and stuff. And
isn't he always going to jail for pissing off the government or something?
Well, there was a big case where he ripped up a Bible on stage, and I think it was in Portugal. I don't remember what country it was.
He's from Poland, so it's probably Poland.
Oh, he was in Poland. Okay, yeah. I can't remember if it was Portugal or Poland, but he did it on stage, and that's illegal in that country. And so he was trying to fight for his freedom of rights. And I think he ultimately settled, or he got, I don't remember the whole case.
Yeah,
but
me too. I remember seeing it. I was thinking,
I would have prepared, but you kind of just threw this on us in the last hour. So it's like, hey, but it's worth it. It's worth it to drop everything for Behemoth. Behemoth.
And what's funny about him too, because he does like a judge on those like singing shows. Like he's like Simon Cowell.
Oh, is he?
Simon Cowell. Yeah, he does like
I've never seen
the
that.
Voice. It's either The Voice or like an American Idol Poland, but European or whatever. Yeah, he's one of the judges on there. Like he was like a couple years ago. He probably isn't now, but he was a few years ago.
That's funny.
He was a judge. I think it's funny, like those kind of bands get that kind of stuff going on in those countries.
Again, it reminds me of being in Finland when the guitar player from Fintroll died, and the memorial on the bridge was so extravagant.
Like Michael Jackson or something.
Yeah, I thought it was Michael Jackson had died. I was just like, holy crap! The black metal is this popular in Finland that they would go all out. So those European countries, they know how to do metal.
Yeah, I just saw like last year's Grammys at Norway. It was like Dimmu Borgir's still going in it, and there's a bunch of other like black metal bands were still in it. And here we had they forget Slipknot, the drummer.
They barely have like
they don't show
soft
the TV.
tone metal, like it's almost like country metal, the metal that they appreciate here.
Yeah, and then they don't even televise it.
We need to move away from here, man. Metalheads, we need to go to Norway, but we'd probably ruin it. Okay, so we're going to check out Behemoth's new video. It's called Of My Herculean Exile.
Oh, cool.
It came out a couple days ago. You said they were going to be releasing a new...
yeah, so they got a new album coming out in September. They just announced it. And I've been looking to see if they got a new album coming out. I keep hearing that they are, and then they don't. I got their last single, The Forest, but that was like the last thing I've heard from them. And I got Loved You at Your Darkness. That's the last album I bought of theirs.
All right, so here we go. Behemoth, Of My Herculean Exile.
Ooh.
That guy looks pissed off, man.
Is that Jesus?
I always love the production of their videos. They're so well done, like it's a movie.
Get that Behemoth money.
That looks like the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, yeah.
Got that classic sound.
Yeah. Dude, their image looks like this time around. They always change their image.
Yeah.
Got a unique voice.
I love his voice, yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes me want to put the horns up and just, So it's almost like a storyline that's going on, it seems like.
Yeah. I don't see Hercules. Who's Hercules there? This is a song about Hercules.
Oh shit, he opened the box. Oh shit.
And
there's a bunch of spiders coming after him.
That looks like it would be a King Diamond Abigail video.
I do not possess the prowess of mighty bars and bullets, void of ambition to evangelize.
It's kind of like a mellow song for them, for being the first one. It's like their ballad. Really start off with a ballad.
I'm still waiting to see the band. I wonder why they haven't showed the band yet.
Might be the way it goes. It's like a movie.
Oh, he's getting eaten up by something. We got some special effects going on. Damn. It's very transic. It's very like you could just listen to it.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, looks like he's zombified.
Yeah. No, good direction I'm going with some newer music. There we go.
Certainly a cool like video, like horror movie concept, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Damn. Stabbing that bitch.
He's stabbing her right on her face.
He was stabbing her with the fork. Oh.
Okay.
He's got supernatural powers. That old lady's gonna take them all out.
Yeah, I think it was grandma.
His grandma, shit, grandma fell.
It's the grandma from the King Diamond video.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Dropped her ass.
damn. We would have done that with our grandma. The family would really hate us.
Oh, shit. So wait, he killed himself after. I thought he was a zombie, though.
Yeah. Explain, Nagol. Explain to us. What are you getting at?
Oh.
Oh, damn. So there's going to be a part 2 of it.
Oh, she's going to church. You know it ends with the church. It always ends with the church. Cool.
Cool.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it didn't show the band. It looked like they just saying, let's go for a full movie-driven type of vibe.
So that was Behemoth. I think, again, my only disappointment is that we didn't get to see the band.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see them.
My theory is maybe they're working on a new image. You know how they always switch up their image, and maybe they're not showing themselves until close to the album comes out.
Yeah, which I get, but that's part of the fun of watching a music video from them is it always switches into their, like, they have some, like they should have been dressed as like zombies or something weird as part of the background.
Have you ever watched any of their latest concerts on YouTube? I think they released like the one that they streamed last year. I think it's on YouTube now. Where it's like
I saw a few bits and pieces here and there. Yeah, they have a very great stage show. It's
with the fire and shit everywhere.
I think they're one of the last few bands that just go all out. Like I think a lot of bands kind of get cheap and because obviously Behemoth, they're a big band, but they're not that big. I'm sure that they really can't afford to have that much of a production, but I think he chooses to do that rather than, take all the money for himself. Because a lot of bands would be like, well, I don't want to spend that much money on a big video and all that stuff, you know?
Like, how big are they? Like, can they, like what Iron Maiden does when they go out and just play stadiums, and like what Scorpions are doing now, and Motley Crue is going to go out on the stadium tour. Can Behemoth do that? Even Ghost, I mean, those guys haven't been around since probably not as long as Behemoth. Behemoth's probably been around longer, but Ghost is out there doing arenas and headlining and stuff. And so I'm wondering,
that's what I mean. They're not that big. I mean, they're a great band, but I don't think they can fill a stadium. I mean, maybe in Europe, maybe they're pretty big over there.
But they are definitely a big name, because when you think of like the big names in black metal, it's always Cradle of Filth, Behemoth, Dimmu Borgir, and Behemoth is definitely up there in those top 5. When you think of black metal or death metal or blackened metal, whatever they want to categorize.
But I love that they take the time to go all out. And obviously Danny Filth of Cradle of Filth, he does that too. He goes through, he makes sure that his production is good. He makes sure that the quality of the music. And even though this is what I hate about like a lot of the metalheads out there, is that when a band does what they do, they call them sellouts or like they're a horrible band just because they want value from what they're producing, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I hate that when they say that about stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, because you paying for a ticket, especially nowadays with tickets being $200 or $300 a piece and inflation. You want to you got to go see a show. You don't want to see some guys just up there like they just woke up out of bed and put on some pajamas. You know, it's like, it's
just you want something for your money. Or even, like I said, in the music video, you know, the fact that it was a full movie with special effects. There was like CGI spiders and blood and gore going on in the video.
Yeah, you could tell they had a good budget on it. Like a pretty.
And they always have
budget.
such the best back. I don't know where they film it at, but the backdrops of the mountains and it's just so serene and so beautiful. You know, I want to live wherever they're filming this stuff. I want to live there. It's so cool.
Is Behemoth both from Poland, or is it just Nergal lives in Poland? I wonder. Like
I'm sure they originated from there. I mean, obviously all the band members, they may have changed band members over the years, but listen, I love a band like Behemoth, but I don't research them like you do. Like I don't I'm sorry, but I don't know their history, their childhood traumas. I don't know where they went to middle school and what they ate for breakfast. I'm not that into it. Like anybody, it's nothing against them. I still love them as a band. I still love the music. I'm just not that type of person that goes on like, oh, I like them, I'm gonna fucking research their last kin. And
what's funny is I never used to be that way, but like the past few years, I've just been in like documentaries and just kind of learning like. It's been fascinating to find out where they started, how they started.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated if I come across it and I see it, then I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I like knowing about it, but I just don't go out of my way because I'm busy doing other stuff. But yeah, Behemoth, definitely check it out.
Yeah, new album coming out in September. That is, I don't know the actual date, but here's what trips me out is like they must have kept this thing really quiet because I have a list of all the bands that are coming out with their new albums in 2022, and they weren't on it. Like, or at least if they were, I didn't see them. But I even keep a list of all the bands I want to get their new album from, and I would have put them on my list if I saw them, but I didn't. So
maybe they're still in production. Maybe they're still at the final stages as far as like doing post production and things like that. But they had this song complete, and they're like, okay, let's give people something.
Yeah, let's surprise them with something.
But let us know what you guys think in the comments. Let us know what you thought of the video. Help support Behemoth. Do you think they're a sellout? That's what I want to know. Who out there thinks that Behemoth is a sellout because of their high production value or the music? And
I'm pretty sure like the pure black metalists and the purists, I hate those people.
Well, just like when we did our video of Metallica versus Megadeth, you got all these people, even though we picked Metallica, we're like, well, you don't understand that Dave Mustaine did all this weird stuff with Megadeth and Metallica's just ripping them off. And I'm like, well, then how do you explain Master of Puppets? Because they were kind of explaining some stuff. Master of Puppets, the greatest album. And then they were like, okay.
Yeah, there's no way Dave Mustaine had anything to do with Master Puppets.
But, again, it's like, I think if you love somebody, you kind of try to defend them. It's that sports mentality that we always talk about. If you love somebody, you love them over everybody else. And, you can't possibly, if you love Megadeth, you can't love Metallica. If you love Behemoth, you can't possibly love Mayhem. Or if you love Mayhem, you can't love any other black, because it's got to be pure black metal. It's got to be pure black metal.
Yeah.
I hate those people. I hate that with anything.
It's a hate category.
They do the same thing in country music. They do the same thing in rock, like classic rock. It's got to be Led Zeppelin. Yeah. John Bonham is the greatest drummer that ever lived. It's like, shut up.
Just like what you like. Leave people alone. What they like, leave them alone. Just move on.
You can like more than one thing, okay, people? Which brings us to our next discussion. Okay, here we go. We're going to go the ultimate battle again. Randy Rhoads versus Eddie Van Halen.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like even when he was around, there was like this battle.
Yeah, that's what surprised me, like how bad that rivalry was between those two. Like I knew there was one, but I didn't know it was like that. What are we talking about?
So if you want to know what we're talking about the new Randy Rhoads documentary,
Reflections of a Guitar Icon.
Reflections of a Guitar Icon. Yeah, we just saw it on Amazon or Apple TV. It's actually really good. I liked it. It was very interesting.
Directed by Andre Relis.
But like you said, the rivalry between, I think Randy Rhoads didn't really care, other than the fact that everyone kept bringing it to him. And if you heard that radio interview, Eddie Van Halen was kind of an ass for saying the stuff like, oh, he's not that great, or he's okay, he's a nice guy, but
here's how you can tell it, because with Randy Rhoads, he was a guitar teacher, right? And you can even see that when he's doing his guitar solos live. He's looking at the audience. He wants to show you what he's doing. He's got that kind of look like here's what I'm doing, here's how I do it. He's actually showing his guitar solos, whereas Eddie Van Halen, in those days, he was always known to turn his back because he didn't want nobody copying his secrets or what he does on a guitar.
Is that why he did it?
Yeah,
it wasn't because he was shy. He just didn't want anybody stealing
he
his...
didn't want nobody stealing his stuff. So that's why he thinks that, Randy Rhoads might have taken some stuff from him. And he's like, well, how could he if he didn't see what you were playing? It's like...
But even then, when you watch that documentary, you realize how much Randy Rhoads wanted to learn guitar. Like, he was studying, even when he was on tour, he was studying in his off time. He wanted to keep learning classical, like old school classical.
He'd take lessons, guitar lessons when he's on tour and stuff, like classical guitar. And what I liked about the documentary, like I know you kind of got a little bit bored of the Quiet Riot stuff, but I like that part because I think the Ozzy Osbourne stuff has been told so many times in so many different ways that there was a lot of that whole Quiet Riot that a lot of people don't know about with Randy Rhoads. And the fact that he actually started Quiet Riot, he was actually the founder of Quiet Riot. You think of Kevin DuBrow being the one, and I think there was even a part which I'm surprised they didn't mention in the documentary, but there was a time where Kevin DuBrow had Quiet Riot change the name to just DuBrow. Like that's how big his ego was.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. When you watch the documentary, you realize how much Randy Rhoads' guitar was being held back by Quiet Riot. That's why he had to go to Ozzy. He had no other choice because he couldn't be, except for that one small piece when he was able to play a solo. The rest of the time, you can tell his guitar was buried behind the vocals, buried behind Kevin DuBrow. And I understand that he wants to be the star. The singer wants to be the front man. But Ozzy was obviously gracious enough to say, hey, you do your thing and I'll ride along with you rather than try to step on you.
Yeah, it was funny how he said he blew Ozzy away just by plugging in, just tuning his guitar, and they were like, oh my God, play something. Like,
all he did was warm up. He was just playing scales.
He's like, yeah, they want me to join. All they did was hear me tune my guitar and play a couple scales, and they wanted me to join.
So who came first, Randy Rhoads or Yngwie Malmsteen? Because
definitely
you have that classical style in Yngwie, but Yngwie wasn't around until later in the 80s, right?
Yeah, because when Yngwie, I think he joined Alcatraz, I think in 1982, 81. So I think, and all this stuff with Quiet Riot with Randy was going on in the 70s. We're talking 77, 78.
Late 79s, 80. Yeah, I think 80 was when
he joined Ozzy. Yeah, so before that, Quiet Riot was around. And back in the day when we're listening to Mental Health, we didn't even know Quiet Riot existed before that. It was just like, I was like,
yeah, that's what they didn't even get to that. I was curious. I was like, well, I want to know the part when they actually get famous because that wasn't with Randy Rhoads, right?
Yeah. So if you watch the other documentary about Quiet Riot, there's a documentary on Quiet Riot, a really good one that takes place after that, and they do go into a little bit about Randy. What I loved about the guitar solo, and I thought, man, it's just so amazing watching his guitar solo live because I knew he was good, but damn, was like, he was like that good, But what I loved about it was, and I love stuff like this, when you hear something that's familiar that was okay. So he wrote D for Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz, right? And he wrote that about his mom, and he also wrote obviously Goodbye to Romance. But in his guitar solo in the 70s with Quiet Riot, when he's doing that guitar, he does a little piece of D.
Yeah, I heard that too. I was like, wait a minute, that's D.
Yeah, and then he finished it off with that first line in Goodbye to Romance. Like, da, 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 da.
So he already had those, but that's what I'm saying. That's where I thought he was being held back by Quiet Riot. So he already had those songs. He just couldn't fit it with Kevin's vocals. It just didn't.
Yeah, because they were just more like straight rock, kind of cherry pop rock or whatever. Which, like I said, because Randy started Quiet Riot, you would think he would actually just automatically, him and that guy or whatever, that guy that ended up leaving the band because he was drinking or whatever. Those were the two that started Quiet Riot. And you would think that he would already have his style kind of mapped out that he wanted to do. Kevin was such a control freak.
But I think it's because he was young and so Kevin was able to kind of be the more mature and take over the band and stuff.
That's what Kevin was, from what everyone says. He was like, he would just take over. The big personality. You either love him or you hate him. He was an asshole or he wasn't,
Yeah, which is what makes a good band, a good frontman for a band anyway, like David Lee Roth or something like that. So
I think he's got a documentary coming out.
That shows the uniqueness of Ozzy Osbourne. How he's been able to sustain himself all these years is that he's just a humble person. Even though he's a big personality, he's kind of in the mix with the music. He's not such a frontman to where he takes over, but yet he does. He lets the musicians do their part, and he's part of it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's from his experience with Black Sabbath. Now, obviously, it's no spoiler alert from watching this documentary that you figure out that he dies.
Yeah. Oh, he did? Fuck.
Yeah. Not to give anything away.
Who's that guy with the bullseye guitar? I thought that was Randy Rhoads.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's his ghost. That's a resurrected. He's a zombie.
Zach Wild.
What pissed me off to no end was the guy that was flying the plane, man. That pissed me off that guy was a dick. You know, he said, oh, I'm not going to drive the plane all crazy. Don't worry. He talked him into it. Randy's probably like, I didn't want to fly, but this guy wants to show off.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there buzzing the bus and then he fucks up and kills everybody. I mean, that's just a fucked up thing
I didn't know,
to
do. Like, the plane actually clipped the bus. So, like, and like even Rudy Sarzo was saying, like, had it been just a little bit, closer or whatever, then they would have been killed too. And this is like,
yeah, the bus would have looked like the top of that garage that got burned down.
Imagine just losing a whole band, like, freaking Sharon. And I didn't know that, like I said, I didn't know they were in the bus. I didn't know that at that time, I always heard the story that it was like them on tour, like that they decided to take the bus and then Randy decided to fly and then the plane crashed somewhere around there. But I didn't know they actually crashed in the house that they were staying at, like in the yard of that big old house, whatever. Like,
because they were stopped to get a piece of equipment because the bus was going to break down or something. So they were trying to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just some guy just took the plane. I don't even think it was his plane. He just knew how to fly. So he just took it.
Yeah.
And wanted to show off that it wasn't his plane. He just took it and without permission and just said, hey, let's go check this out. And, that was definitely pre 9/11 where you could just take a plane and fly around.
Yeah. Have you seen the Ozzy Osbourne documentary called The 9 Lives of Ozzy? Have you watched that yet? It was on Biography, but you can actually get it on
No,
Amazon
I kept seeing it, but no, I never got a chance to sit down and watch
really
it.
Good. It really shows how he felt about Randy's loss, and like he really, he tears up a little bit talking about Randy. I mean, Randy really meant a lot to Ozzy. It was like, it kind of makes sense now, the reason why they, like, Jakey Lee kind of got the bad end of the stick of that whole deal. Like, he didn't get songwriting credits. He was being told what to play, what to do, and everything. He had to pretty much sign away his songwriting credits and say that Ozzy wrote everything. And I think a lot of it, Ozzy treated him that way because Ozzy was just so into Randy. Like, he just couldn't see another guitar player in that spot, even though he tried, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's like Metallica all over, or I guess that came before Metallica, but it's the same thing when you're the outsider and you come in to fill a space. And
which trips me out because Brad Gillis came in right after Randy died to finish off the tour and did that Speak of the Devil. And Brad Gillis, he kicked out somebody. I was watching a concert the other day of the Speak of the Devil, and I didn't notice that Brad Gillis was just playing those solos. He was just improvising those solos. Like Mr. Crowley guitar solo was like iconic, like, the finger tapping and everything. But what Brad was doing, he was just doing some tremolo bar stuff. I'm thinking, like, how's he fucking up that solo? But then I read later that I guess he only had 2 weeks to learn everything. So it's understandable.
Kind of tough to just.
Yeah, but I was like, but it's
well, Sharon was like, well, we still have all these tickets we already sold, so we need to go on tour, Ozzy. I don't care who died. Yeah. We gotta. We gotta keep going. Money's most important.
And I read an interview with the director. I guess his name's Andre Rellis, and he said he couldn't get any clearance. He said he basically couldn't get anybody on board. The way it looks, the way he did it, despite not being able to get like permission from the Randy Rhoads family and Sharon Osbourne, he did a really good job pulling that shit together because it looks like.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. It's basically old clips that are public that he used.
It looks authorized. Like it would be like you can see Randy Rhoads' brother in there that looks like the chick from a Dark Crystal.
Other than that drummer, the drummer was the only one, and the girlfriend from.
Oh yeah, Yeah. He said he tried to get Sharon on board, but I guess he said Sharon was just like she was mean about it. Like she was like not even giving.
She's always mean about everything, man.
He said he didn't even want to talk about like the text that he was getting from her. It's like he wanted to tell Randy's story because he was inspired by. He was from a punk band and his punk band was actually inspired by 80s metal like Judas Priest.
But if you guys get a chance, the Randy Rhoads documentary, it's really cool. After hearing that, right, or after watching it, I went and listened to Diary of a Madman, which I haven't heard in like 20 years.
I put that on too after.
Again, I was just like, I was blown away. It's like listening to it for the first time, even though I knew the album after, like I said, I haven't listened to it in at least 20 years.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, it's amazing.
It still sounds fresh. And so it sounds Blizzard of Oz too. I still listen to those at least a couple of times a month when I get a chance.
Well, Blizzard of Oz I have listened to, but Diary of a Madman, for some reason, I don't know why, I just kind of put it on. I mean, I'm sure I've listened to Over the Mountain on the radio and stuff like that, but the whole album as a whole, when it gets to Diary of a Madman, that's just a phenomenal song. I mean, it's just...
And those two albums came out at the same year. Those two albums came out. And
so where's your guitar at, Eric? How come you're not playing like Randy Rhoads? Where's our Randy Rhoads tribute?
Let's see.
Let's see what you got.
I can't see my glasses.
Where's D? You got to play D.
Yeah, I used to know how to play that, but I don't. Yeah, I totally forgot how to play it. No,
that's nothing.
That was one of the first songs I learned.
Dun, dun, dun.
Crazy. That's how it goes. Millions of people living like trolls. Does he say living like trolls?
Living like hoes.
Yeah, I always get the
Millions of people living like hoes. That's some hoes, bitch.
It's hard to play guitar with that sunglasses.
All right, that's enough, Eric. We had enough out of you. If you can't play the Randy Rhoads solo like it's on an acoustic, right? I don't want to hear it.
He does that thing where he bends it up like that.
We all wish we could play like Randy Rhoads.
Yeah, Randy Rhoads, rest in peace, man. Or maybe in Guitar Heaven, him and Eddie's up there jamming and writing songs together. They're fighting
each other. Now that they're the ones doing the boxing match.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be the next Choose Your Champion on our Facebook group. I'll put Randy Rhoads versus
Eddie Van Halen. I say no. I mean, Eddie Van Halen is good, but to me, he's a great songwriter. He's not, I mean, he has that one solo, Eruption or whatever, which is really great. And he's good at doing the finger tap, but
I was always anti-Eddie Van Halen. I always joke around on Facebook, like, fuck Eddie Van Halen, but
yeah.
I feel bad because after he died, now I'm starting to kind of appreciate his playing a little bit more. Like I'm actually kind of listening to Van Halen a little bit more because I was never really a big Van Halen fan. I always thought their music was just kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's good songwriting. It's good rock. But it's not like, to me, I would pick Randy Rhoads, Yngwie Malmsteen, Steve Vai any day of the week, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I would think of a million other guitar players I like better than Eddie Van Halen.
Yngwie for me, man. Yngwie, come on our show, damn it.
Yeah, that's what I wonder, like if Yngwie was influeed by Randy Rhoads.
He could have been.
But okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. Okay, so do you remember in the documentary where they showed them, he was getting the Rock of Fame thing on Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah, I saw Yngwie in the background.
Was that Yngwie or was that Jakey Lee? I was trying to figure it out. Oh, it was Yngwie. Okay, because I was thinking, is that Jakey Lee or because they kind of look the same?
Yeah, there was a time where Yngwie beefed up too, like a lot. Like he was really that was his fat period. That was like where I am now. That's where Yngwie was.
Because didn't he look like Jakey Lee? Am I wrong in saying that?
Yeah, he had the hair and everything.
Yeah, they looked the same. Because I was thinking, I wonder, that would be weird if Jakey Lee was there for Randy Rhoads, because Jakey Lee hated everything about that. So
yeah. Plus, Jakey Lee's a total like homebody, so I don't think he'd be out doing anything.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, same thing. So I was thinking, it had to be Yngwie, but then it didn't look like Yngwie. It looked like a weird version of him. So
I'm used to seeing Yngwie with the sideburns now and like got a little bit of a gruff, but yeah, he'd be like too clean shaven. Chubby face.
But we all go through changes. Hey, we all go through changes growing up. Yeah, getting hair under armpits and whatnot and stuff. So
I'm going through changes.
I can't sing.
We have a Facebook group. We have some people asked us a couple of questions on our Facebook group.
Oh, yeah, let's wrap it up here with a few questions. They're all for you, Eric, because you pretty much turned the Facebook group into your personal diary of a madman.
Oh, yeah. It seems like it's all about music and just have, always trying to
I don't think anybody even knows it's about Gen X brothers anymore. They just think it's about
here's the thing is
trivia.
Like, so the beauty of it is when in that group, they're always going to see that name Gen X Bros, like, especially when it comes to,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, when you get notifications, it's always going to be Gen X Brothers. So then when we release an episode, they're going to be like, oh, okay, Gen X Brothers. So, but most
and then they're going to click on it and they're going to see my guitar legend of the week for T is tiaras and honky tonks. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah. So anyway, so people wanted to ask you some questions on there, and you said, no, I'm not going to answer you on Facebook. I'm going to answer your questions on the show.
On the air.
On the air.
And So I said, like, we're both taking questions. We'll read them on the air. I'd like to do it every week, and so.
But since all I do is promote the show, nobody asked me no goddamn questions.
Well, I just said ask us in general, so it's not like we're being targeted. But just ask us in general, and either one of us or both of us will answer. So, Robert Gargoyle, he asked the question, will we ever see a Will-O-Wisp reunion? I want you to answer that.
I don't know who Will-O-Wisp is. Who is this Will-O-Wisp we speak of?
You're one of the
all right,
OG
so
members.
For the 30 people out there that know who Will-O-Wisp is, I don't know. I would like to do it. I wouldn't mind doing it. We could play like 3 songs or something, and we'd all be in our different rooms playing.
Yeah. I mean, Tony and I talked about it. Like we said, like it'd be kind of cool to do one last record, and especially with nowadays with able to send files and stuff and record and do like a collaboration of a song or something. And I thought, yeah, it'd be cool, but it would be a matter of just getting everyone on board.
But then who would we have as the fourth person? Would it just be us 3? Yeah. We could have like a guest person for each of the band members that were in there before and after. Like
it would be like if we do like Bauhaus, I guess, and send the file and just see what comes up. I'll send.
But then
riff,
you would have like Tony Karza, the old keyboard player. He'd be like, "How come I'm not in there? I need to be in there so I can spread my Trumpness."
I'll send him a fucking Merry Little Lamb and see what he could do with that.
And then you have like Raven or Gabriel. Who knows what happened to him?
Yeah, just because we had so many people come in and out, and there's like who knows who's still playing. And I guess the main core members would be like me, you, and Tony, and then the second era of Will-O-Wisp would be me, Ibex, and Tony, and then maybe Andrick.
But then what about the original, you, Tony, and Jimmy?
Jimmy? Oh yeah, so there you go. So we got chapter 1, which is me, Tony, and Jimmy. Chapter 2, me, Glenn, and Tony. Yeah. Chapter 3. Ibex, me, and Karza, and Andrix.
So I think maybe you and Tony should just sit down and write some music, and then one song you can invite me in to play bass or whatever. Well, I could still produce the whole thing.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate way to do it. And we always talk about doing a documentary and talk about the days of being influenced and just have those guys on doing interviews and have everyone from Outwater and the idea of doing a documentary for us would be cool because Tony has all of that stuff. He has all the VHS, the rehearsals from our very first rehearsal, from practicing in that barn, when we couldn't even really string our instruments, or put a finger to the fretboard,
Yeah, so I'm curious. Okay, so let's say we do a reunion. The most disappointing thing is if we did a reunion and only like 3 people listen to it or whatever, like, because nobody remembers or they're all dead, all the people that used to like us.
Yeah, I still get quite a bit of people like on my Facebook, they still kind of talk about us and say that, they were a fan back in the day, or they even saw us.
Yeah, me too, same thing. Yeah,
especially when I'm in that group about the 90s Facebook group, and every time I comment in there, sometimes I'll get somebody like, that one guy that obviously is my friend now, but he's like, "Oh my God, you were Will-O-Wisp? Oh yeah, I remember seeing you guys. What are you doing now?"
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm Karza because you guys put him basically on my song in a video.
Oh yeah.
Playing what was it? Our Children Shall Take You as Lord.
Oh yeah.
Which is my song, or what? I helped write that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Karza's playing, so people go, "Oh, are you the keyboard? You're Karza?" And
I think the reason why we did that, I think we chose that song because it had the most kind of keyboard line, and so obviously we need Karza.
I don't care. I don't give a crap. But I just think it's funny.
We needed him to do something. He always overplayed that song anyway. Whenever we do a live, he'd be like adding those stupid little notes in there and shit.
I mean, I quit the band like 30 times, so it's fun because I'm not good at like dealing with people, as you all may well know. I'm not a very good people person.
Yeah.
So playing shows live for me was very painful, and I liked it once we got on stage and we were like, like playing and performing. I just didn't like all the stuff before a show and all the stuff you had to do after a show, like dealing with fake people or dealing with promoters and ticket sales and all that. It just made me so nervous and stuff. But Will-O-Wisp, yes, we're going to do a reunion tour coming up, or a reunion album next year. So look out for that.
Yeah, right.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. We could probably make something happen if we just have to. If we had I bet if we did GoFundMe or something, we'd probably make something happen. A couple grand, It's like
I dare somebody to hold me to that.
Yeah, if I was just savvy on recording software and stuff, I'd definitely send some files. I'll learn once. I'm still learning, you know.
Well, so I'll throw this out there. If if Gen X Bros show becomes so big that Erik has to move here to Vegas, so that way we can do it all in one studio, then we will all be close enough because Tony will only be 4 hours away. Then we'll do it. We'll use the Gen X Brothers podcast studio as our recording studio.
Yeah.
And we'll do it from there. So if you want that to happen, spread the Gen X Brothers podcast to your friends. Get us out there, gargoyle, promote us as much as you can, and then you'll see it. So what's the next question, Erik?
Desi, we only had 2 questions. This is a new segment. Desi Chavez asked, and I think it might have been directed to both of us. It might have been me. What is your favorite Iron Maiden song to play on guitar? Do you play any songs on guitar from Iron Maiden?
That's not for me.
When you're messing around or whatever.
That's not for me. That's for you, Erik. 100%.
I try to learn all their songs, but I'd have to say my favorite to play would be Wasted Years.
Really? Wasted Years? I would have thought something else. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Wasted Years is a good song, but as far as guitar goes, I wouldn't think that.
I could play without losing. If you're like Dragon Force, you do like.
Dragon Force. Yeah.
That'd be their version. I also like so the new one that Writing on the Wall. So that's like
some reason that sounded like a Bon Jovi song, didn't it?
Yeah, it does sound like
acoustic wise. It's like
totally different for Iron Maiden, and then they go.
Got that like Western feel to it or something, like a cowboy.
It's so different for them, and everyone freaked out when that song came out. Like, oh my god!
I mean, that's cool. I mean, it sounds cool, but
yeah, it's a great song. It's a great video too. Like, you should check out the video, animated.
No, I'm not gonna check it out.
So my favorite song by Iron Maiden to play on guitar is "Wasted Years." I love playing, and I just learned the guitar solo, and then also "Writing on the Wall." I had to pick a third. Stratego.
And if you want to see Erik play these great hits, you can go on his YouTube channel.
Yeah. I'm always posting videos on Instagram and shit.
Oh yeah, Instagram.
I play
his new Instagram. Don't look on the old Instagram, or you're gonna get hacked by some hacker.
My new unhacked Instagram, which now I gotta fill up with more guitar videos of me playing "Bark at the Moon" about 50 times. So thank you for those questions.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening. That is our show. Like I said, go check out Erik's new Instagram. What's the new Instagram, Erik? ARRIK_official. Erik_official. So just look up Erik.
Yeah. Just look up Erik.
That's too much.
ARRIK.
So check out Erik's Instagram. Go to of course, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, under Gen X Bros. That's all you got to look up. Look it up on Google. Just type in Gen X Bros anywhere, and we're going to come up. Nobody else has that name. Nobody hacked us yet.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say.
You can find us in New Guinea, Zimbabwe, wherever.
Our biggest supporter is a Nigerian prince who got ripped off by Erik after he sent him 10,000 fake dollars.
Gotta love your hackers, man. Love your hackers.
Yes. Hack away. All right. Anything else you want to say, Erik, before we leave? Any last words from you?
Yeah. To the hacker, I'm coming for your fucking throat, motherfucker.
Yeah, we're coming for you. We're going to hack you. Anonymous, help us out, man. If Anonymous is true, if Anonymous is out there, help us find these hackers and help Erik.
Anonymous. Synonymous.
Anonymous. I don't even want to say the name because I don't want him coming after me. You know?
Yeah, right.
I don't need that shit, man.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate your support. This has been an all metal, all music episode again. We will talk to you next week. We'll have something special for you. In the meantime, check out our YouTube channel. Listen to our full podcast anywhere podcasts are listened to. And stay in touch. Like, Erik, if you want us to read your questions, if you want to ask us something personal, like what type of underwear Erik wears, then, send it on to the Facebook group.
Yeah. Ask us something juicy. Oh, yeah, John Scheller did ask, like, how come I don't call him in the morning and tell him I love him? John, I love you, man. I'm going to call you in the morning. I'm going to tell you I love you, but you got to give me your number first.
Just play this podcast in the morning and it'll be the same. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We will talk to you next week.
Horns up. Peace out.